Boy, oh boy, the Acolyte sure did change the meaning of that scene from Revenge of the Sith. Oh, have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis? Listen, spoilers if you actually care about this show, but judging by the ratings, most of you don't. I think most people just enjoy laughing at it. Kind of like what we're going to do today. Surprise, surprise! The Acolyte went even further with its destruction of what happens in Star Wars lore. And boy, oh boy, did they do a banger on this one. So the show is over. And, you know, selfishly, I wish it would keep going. I kind of hope it gets a season 2. Because, listen, love has turned to apathy for me. I don't care. To me, in my world, there's only 6 Star Wars movies in existence. Well, maybe 7. You can put Rogue One in it. Rogue One actually is all right. I kind of like Rogue One. If I'm going to take anything from Disney, it'll be that movie. But we can just stick with the 6. Maybe those, and these aren't Disney. Remember those Clone Wars animated shorts? I really liked those. You can keep those too. Other than that, I don't want any of it. And I don't think I'm the only one. This show is awful. Felt like it definitely is a big Leslie Headland stamp on things. Like, look, I put Darth Plagueis in there. I came up with that, as Star Wars Theory said, and we're going to get to him because he absolutely wrecks this show. Destroys it. Why don't they hire him? You know, you want somebody to come in there and, like, take care of business. It kind of seems like he would be the guy, but now Leslie Headland is definitely the one. Somebody that has almost no experience and worked for Harvey Weinstein. That's the person we need. So, at the end of the show, Osha kills Saul, and she force chokes him. So, it's the first force choke, I believe, now. That's Osha. And Darth Plagueis shows up. He's like a creepy dude in a cave. It's really weird. First off, how old should he be here? Now, I've heard some people say he would be like 15 max. So he's just hanging out in this cave, being weird. What is this? This is awful. And by the way, when Saul dies, it's almost like she's, and I mean Leslie Headland here, is trying to insert her feelings towards Harvey Weinstein there. I saw some people making that comparison, and I kind of agree. Because think about it. Saul was teaching Osha, and Leslie Headland writes what she knows. Yet Saul teaching Osha did some bad things, so she chokes him to death. I think there's something going on there. Now, that's just speculation, but hey, you know, sometimes the shoe fits. But Star Wars Theory has been quite critical of the final for this show. And, you know, I liked some of the things he has to say here. Listen to this.
Let's just address real quick the elephant in the room here. Leslie Headland interjecting Darth Plagueis for the first time on screen as some creepy dude just in the shadows, just so that he can observe the children that have been created from the Force, so that he can go on, and now this is the reason, this is the proof he needs to create life, to tell Palpatine. Imagine interjecting that much of your story before George Lucas's, just so that you can have your eternal stamp of approval of your name put on something that is timeless, so that you have something to add to your resume. I did that. I put Plagueis in there. Oh yeah, your name's gonna be timeless in Star Wars. I am missing Rian Johnson right now. That's how much I'm missing.
I agree with him, by the way, that this show is worse than anything Rian Johnson did for a lot of reasons, because of the fact that pretty much, as this says here, this show paves a path straight to Anakin. So these twins that the lesbian space witches created are the inspiration for what eventually led to Anakin's creation. Because in the comics, there is a panel, or not a panel, it's a page in the book where it's heavily implied that Palpatine used the Force to impregnate Anakin's mother. Now, I don't think that's confirmed, but that does exist. That's a real thing in a Marvel Star Wars comic book. So, wow, man. I can't believe they went this far with this show. I am kind of shocked that they did it because this changes Star Wars forever. And this show is shit. And it's not a success. We're going to get to what they're saying about this show. This show is actually a ratings disaster. But they're trying to prop it up that it's some kind of win. I'm going to show you one more thing. So after she kills Saul, that's the guy from Squid Games. I forget his name. He's actually a really good actor. He was good in the show, despite, that English obviously isn't his first language. And I think he was just starting to learn English for the show. So, he did a good job acting. He worked with the material that he had, right? I think it is pretty cool that he learned English fast enough for the show, but this is a light praise for the show. The show is awful. Out of all the characters, I liked him. They did him dirty, making him a Harvey Weinstein stand-in, though. But after Osha kills Saul, she ignites the lightsaber. So she takes her lightsaber and it turns from blue to red. So she corrupts the crystal and it bleeds and becomes red. And it was almost effortless for her. How is she that powerful? Because as Star Wars Theory points out here, this is what it took for Vader to turn his crystal red in Disney canon after failing a previous attempt and being slammed into a wall. And look at all this. Look how hard it was for him. So is she more powerful than Anakin Skywalker? Befitting for a Kathleen Kennedy production to make I don't know if she's lesbian or not, but she comes from a two mothers family, so maybe not. I don't know. But for the woman to be more powerful than the most famous character in all of Star Wars, the character that all 6 movies revolve around, he's not anywhere near as good as good old Osha, who actually quit Force training, could remember her training, but somehow she's able to corrupt the crystal effortlessly because she killed that dude. But Darth Vader fails to do it. What a joke, huh? I like that he's destroying them. It's fitting. He's already more popular than the Luke. Well, he doesn't have as many subs as Lucasfilm Star Wars official channel on YouTube, but he's almost there, and his views are way bigger than theirs. Nobody's watching the official Star Wars channel. But here's what's going on in the news. Listen to this fake stats that they're making here. The Acolyte beats X-Men 97 to become most watched Disney Plus series premiere of 2024. Now, it sounds like a big win, doesn't it? Until you remember that despite being a good show, and I did like X-Men 97 quite a bit, it didn't have huge ratings. I'm not trying to trash it. I'm just pointing out that the viewership for the show was low. So that is quite the spin that they're trying to put out there. And you can go to some of these companies that capture data for these streaming programs. This is from Luminate. This is from July 12th. You can see where this show compares to all the other ones. And it's pretty clear when you look at total minutes watched for the first 12 weeks of recent Star Wars shows, nobody's watching The Acolyte. And so it doesn't sound like many people are watching much Disney Plus shit at all. When you go and you look at what's most watched on Disney Plus, it's all their old stuff. Nostalgia is what people are tuning into on Disney Plus. Nobody's watching most of their new stuff. They're definitely not watching The Acolyte. It's really funny to watch all of these shills try to spin this show as a win and frame it all as review bombing just to try to get people interested in the show. It's just review bombers. It's really a good show. Nobody believes that, as you can see from the data itself. Man, when you look at it like this on this graph, it's pretty damn telling. It really is. Is the show canceled? I find it interesting that they are calling it a season finale, not a series finale. So, you know what? The way that Disney has been rolling over these past couple of years under the regime of Kathleen Kennedy, I would not put a season 2 in doubt. Like, I think it might happen. So we'll get to see, I don't know what, a Plagueis Palpatine sex show? Because that's the way they're going. Might as well ship them. They'll get like a younger stud Palpatine to come in, and he'll hook up with Darth Plagueis, the alien creep guy, and people will ship that. I don't know. Maybe he can. They do it. They're clearly doing whatever the hell they want anyway. So maybe they'll make him a shapeshifter, and they'll have them be in a relationship together. I don't know. These are the kind of I really feel like they have these kinds of conversations in the writer's room for modern day Star Wars. I really do. I think that's probably an idea that was kicked around somewhere. It's some kind of gay Palpatine Plagueis show. Leslie Headland's the perfect one to run it up. Anyway, what a disaster. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. Also, if you would, please throw a like up, subscribe, share the video, and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.